What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, welcoming you to one final video before House of Wolves drops May 19th. Oh my goodness. All the things that are coming. Oh, I'm so excited for it all. It's absolute mayhem. It's been insane, but I have been in the thick of all of the announcements, and I am so freaking excited. But what I want to do is I just want to kind of show you guys what I'm doing to kind of get prepared for the House of Wolves now that it's coming. By the way, lots of changes. Everything's level 32 now. I finally was able to get that to work after the last Iron Banner event. The only one that's not really a true 32 is my Titan, as I don't have, not yet anyway, a fully upgraded light level 36 Gauntlet, but that should change after next week. So the only way he can be 32 is if I'm wearing an exotic Gauntlet piece. But other than that, yeah, these guys are all full 32. We're going to jump right on into my Warlock real quick. And I'm just going to head straight to the tower so that I can kind of show you guys what I am doing to get prepared. Okay, so first things first that I would like to talk about. So with House of Wolves, there are a lot of awesome things that they are finally fixing with this, with House of Wolves that are just going to be fantastic. For starters, the thing I want to talk about, and I think this is the thing that I am most excited about, is, well, there's two things I'm really excited about, but they're all kind of in the same vein, and that's your ability to ascend armor. You no longer have to freaking go by and get a whole new set of raid or whatever armor just to get to the next light level. No, the armor that I have right now will all work. Every single bit of this will work. I have every exotic that a Warlock can have, and then I have the all the Iron Banner pieces, and then 2 raid pieces. Well, actually, no, 1 now. That's right. I got rid of my raid gauntlets. The only reason I keep this is for the heavy weapon increase. But yeah, so that's what I've. So all this can be ascended to the next light level, so you can get to light level 34 in no time. Also, this applies to weapons. So I have all my legendary weapons here. What you see right here, these are my favorites, okay? Of every weapon I've got, these are my absolute the best of the best that I use. I've got a couple legendaries that are just my babies. My exotics that I love the most. My exotics I love the most here. Legendaries, exotics, okay? And the thing is, the thing that makes this all so great is that, well, I can ascend them all pretty much from the get-go. Now, legendaries are actually going to be tougher to ascend than exotics. Exotics, you just use your exotic shards to upgrade these, and I have a whopping 19 already. So I'm going to be pretty much set on all my armor pieces that I want to upgrade right from the get-go, and most of my weapons as well, although I do plan on getting even more exotic shards in the coming weeks. Legendaries will be a little bit more different because there's a new currency coming in called Etheric Lights, which are gotten through various circumstances. I mean, granted, they're easy, but the thing is you have more legendaries than you have exotics, so you won't be able to stock up. So it is going to take time to get the legendaries up, but I plan on doing so. These aren't all my weapons, of course. I have a few that are sitting on my Titan and Hunter, and then I also have some in my vault as well. All these weapons that, you know, 3 Little Words is another one that I plan on doing very soon, actually. Basically, if I have it locked, it's likely that I'm going to upgrade it soon, because I have it locked for a darn good reason. I really like the weapon. Murmur will probably come soon, too. The only reason I actually don't like Murmur as much as Purifier, though. Purifier is better in every single way than the solar version of Murmur. Even Impact. So this is really just the best fusion rifle. I mean, its perks aren't really too good. Spray and play is nice, but knee pads kind of sucks. But I mean, it's an amazing fusion rifle. I mean, just look at those stats. It's absolutely ridiculous. But yeah, that's one thing. The next thing I'm doing, and this is kind of important. So I've got it on Dead Orbit. I'm working on Future War Cult, and I'm going to work on New Monarchy next. Is getting their reputation to just on the edge, because I want to get packages. Every single time you rank up with a faction, you get a package, and you can get armor or weapons from those packages. And I want to do it on all 3 so that I can literally just turn in 1 bounty for each, and then I will get a package from each as soon as House of Wolves drops. And that is going to be wonderful. I'll try to do it with the Vanguard reputation as well, and Crucible, although doing it with all 5 of these on all my characters is going to be difficult, especially since on my Hunter and Titan, I don't really have any of these leveled up. I have Dead Orbit leveled up on my Hunter, but Future War Cult, New Monarchy on neither, and Dead Orbit not at all on my Titan. It's really just in my Warlock. I also want to get all my marks to max so that I can go buy things. Especially from what I'm hearing is the Dead Orbit vendor is going to have some amazing weapons. The rocket launcher, shotgun, and scout rifle you get from him with the vendor perks are going to be fantastic. On top of that, the gunsmith is going to finally be relevant because he is, well, first of all, he's going to be selling telemetries finally. And on top of that, you're going to be able to reforge all House of Wolves weapons with him, which is just going to be lovely. So, just going over my weapons real quick, I just want to talk about these and show you why they are so great. So, let's take a look here. I actually have 2 that are literally the same weapon, they just have a slight difference about them. The Saturnine Rapier and the Gellion's Demise. Both of them have the exact same perk. Firefly, which precision kills with this weapon cause the target to explode. And Outlaw, precision kills with the weapon dramatically increase reload speed. They both have this. Here's the difference, though. Saturnine Rapier has way better stability, better range, faster reload speed, and a better rate of fire. So in that, I actually like the gun more. The only reason I won't get rid of Gellion's Demise is that impact. That impact is very helpful and allows you to 3-shot enemies in PvP, even though the perks are more PvE centric. Either one is really a toss-up. I mean, it really just depends on the mood I'm in almost on which one I want to use, but they're both so good, I just can't bring myself to getting rid of either of them. And then my Red Hand 9. Okay, this gun, this is actually going to be a vendor, you're going to be able to purchase this from the New Monarchy vendor when House of Wolves drops. And mine is a bit of an interesting beast. It's not going to have these same perks from the vendor, but my Red Hand 9, man, is this thing just a nasty, it's nasty in both PvE and PvP, actually more so in PvP. This thing is a douche, okay, it really is. So its impact is great, okay? Its rate of fire and range are what hold it back from being, and I think this is really what holds it back from being great in PvE, but in PvP, this gun is awesome. The stability, and on top of that, Zen Moment, which causing damage with this weapon increases its stability. Basically, you just keep pulling the trigger, and there's no recoil whatsoever, like at all. On top of that, it has luck in the chamber, so if I can get that lucky shot on one of my bullets, it's a 2-shotter. This thing it's a really good hand cannon. It's so good. Its impact and stability just make it a lovely thing. I also have the Stranger's Rifle now. Of course, this can't be ascended because it's rare or anything, but this thing is a joy to use in PvP. Arguably, I think one of the better PvP weapons out there, as landing all 3 bursts twice in a row is a kill, on the head anyway. And it can be fired in full auto. It fires fast. It has awesome stability. I love this weapon. And then you have all of my favorite exotics. Bad Juju, best PvE weapon in my opinion. I love this thing in PvE. It is amazing. Mighty Multi-Tool, very good in pretty much every situation, boosting movement speed and whatnot. It's just lovely. Thorn, best PvP hand cannon, at least that I have, because I don't have Hawkmoon. It's just an all-around joy to use. And then the last word, which is also an amazing, my other favorite weapon in PvP to use, at least as far as primary goes. I adore this thing. It's great. Then we go on to my secondaries, alright? So I have 2 to the Morgue. This is my baby in PvE. I run in, I kill, I have a magazine of 6. It's just awesome. It's got good impact. It's got great stability. It's just a joy to use in PvP or PvE. Aphrodite Spear, this is my only Void Sniper Rifle, and as such, it gets a lot of use. It also has Firefly. I could re-roll it for something better later when the Iron Banner comes around again, but it also has amazing impact, which allows it to do a lot of damage, as opposed to this LDR. Yeah, it's got amazing impact. That high of a range isn't really necessary, and honestly, if I'm going for that kind of range, I've got Icebreaker, but the impact is really what sets this thing apart. Speaking of my LDR, though, this is my PvP baby. I love it to death. It's got great perks as well. Double Down, although that I believe is going to be fixed when House of Wolves comes out, allows me to jump into PvP with a full clip, with 24 rounds, even though they did the whole thing where they adjusted the special ammo a few weeks back. this completely negates it. So I can run in with my first life on this and then switch to my shotgun, which is this guy right here, and then I'll have plenty of ammo, and I won't have to worry about it. Purifier, I already talked about this guy. Those stats are just off the charts. The only thing that sucks about it is its charge rate, but if you can get your shot off, it's pretty much a kill. Plan C, let's compare it to this. It's got a little bit better charge rate, but of course it has its perk where charge and equip times are very short immediately after weapon swap, so I can just switch and kill. It's got lower impact range and stability than Purifier, which is why Purifier holds its own, but amazing reload speed. Plan C is still an awesome gun. Then we have these two. Now, Invective is not a gun I actually use all that much. I'm going to compare these two real quick. Invective is not a gun I use all that much, okay? In fact, I don't really care for it all that much. That being said, Invective seems like it's going to be very useful in PvE, especially in the new mode coming out called Prison of Elders, which is basically just... it's basically Horde mode. It's basically this game's equivalent to Zombies from Call of Duty. It's going to be a Horde mode, and you just have to take on waves of enemies. Invective is going to be beautiful for so many reasons. It's going to be great for its full auto, because full auto on this is awesome. It's so awesome, awesome, awesome to have in PvE. PvP, it's not very useful, especially with that low of an impact. You really, in PvP, you want that first shot to kill. If you don't get it on the first shot, you better at least be able to take them out with the melee. And this gun, I'm sorry, it's not that great in PvP, I don't think. It's got a great rate of fire, decent stability, amazing range, and not very good impact or reload speed, which is why I think it's better for PvE. Also, last round of magazine deals bonus damage, which is useful because of the small magazine, and it also has ammo regen. This is going to be great for Prison of Elders, and that is why I'm going to be using it. Judgment is my PvP baby. Now, like... everyone and their mother uses Felwinter's Lie. I dismantled my Felwinter's Lie. I'm not using it anymore. I love my Judgment, though. This is actually going to be for sale from the vendor coming out, or coming with House of Wolves. It will have completely different perks from mine, though. And this shotgun is so good. It has shot package for starters. Hammer Forge, unfortunately, its range actually isn't good unless I have Hammer Forge on it, which thankfully I do. So its range is actually great. Its impact is barely worse than Felwinter's. But its range is better than the base of Felwinter's with Hammer Forged. Although if you get a Felwinter's with Hammer Forged or Rangefinder, of course that's going to be better. And then it has Shot Package, which is the ultimate perk for PvP. It also has this Return to Sender, which kills with this weapon grant bonus ammo directly to the magazine. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And so basically my magazine's actually, in PvP it's typically actually 5 or 6, not 4, when I'm getting kills with it. And then, of course, Icebreaker. I've been over how amazing this sniper rifle is before. Then we go on to my heavies. Deviant Gravity and the Swarm. And Against All Odds. These are all same type of gun. Differences, though. Against All Odds, its stability sucks. But I have one with Field Scout, which I believe they are completely getting rid of for machine guns when the House of Wolves drops. So thankfully I have this thing. It's Grenadiers something, I don't really care. Persistence, this weapon grows more accurate the longer it's fired, which is nice, especially with this large of a magazine. Also especially nice because holy crap the ammo this thing gets when you get a pickup with Field Scout in PvP. Basically, you get like 80 or 90 rounds from one heavy ammo crate in PvP, and this thing can kill things in 4 hits. Yeah, it's nasty in PvP. The Swarm is amazing, and I'm so glad I'm gonna be able to finally ascend this thing because it is awesome. Look at that stability with this impact. Like, let's compare it. It's got a worse impact than Against All Odds, but a slightly better rate of fire, and that stability. Oh, now thankfully mine has Hammer Forge. Otherwise, its range would be absolutely terrible. The reload speed doesn't really hurt me all that bad. I'm not really killing on that. It's going to be great for PvE and PvP. And then Deviant Gravity is basically the arc equivalent of the Swarm with a slightly better impact and better range. That's really all that there is to it, although the stability is worse, and both of them have surplus, which is going to make them both very useful for PvE. Truth, Gjallarhorn, Thunderlord. Best exotic heavy weapons, hands down. Thunderlord is Thunderlord. It is amazing. I've been over it. Gjallarhorn is Do I even begin to start with Gjallarhorn? Everybody knows this is the best rocket launcher in the entire game, bar none. It is the boss finisher. It's the most sought-after weapon in Destiny. I mean, at least for everyone else. For me, it's Hawkmoon, but this gun. I don't even need to start with this one. It's amazing. And then Truth. This is the PvP beast. Basically, Truth. You aim, you fire, they die. That's all there really is to it. Amazing velocity, aggressive tracking, a detonation based on proximity. So basically, yeah, it's going to kill them. Amazing stability. I mean, it actually has a magazine of 3, not 2. It even reloads quickly. I mean, it's the PvP monster. Like, although I do think machine guns are better in PvP, if you're gonna go with a rocket launcher, and in situations this can be more useful than a machine gun. But I think if you want mass kills, get the most kills, and you want to go on kill streaks, machine gun is the best. If you want to take out targets that are causing your teams, that are wreaking havoc, or just take out a specific target, you're never going to get anything better than Truth. You point, you fire, they die. There's almost never an exception to that. That is how Truth works, and I love Truth. So these are my guns that I'm going to be ascending. I think the only one I don't have off the top of my head that I would recommend ascending is Hawkmoon, like right off the get-go, right out of the gate, because that is going to be useful. If you have Hawkmoon, do it. I mean, I guess Fellwinters if you use that. Personally, I think Fellwinters is a bit weak. Like, I think what I love about my Judgment that I like so much better than the Fellwinters is, although its rate of fire still isn't that great, it's so much better than Fellwinters, and I can actually recover after I take a shot. Okay? That's why I love my Judgment. So, honestly, I guess Fellwinters is one. For machine guns, Yolder's Hammer is great. Highly recommend that one. Rocket launchers, really Truth and Gjallarhorn. I mean, I guess if you have one with a nice roll, I can't really think of any machine guns that have any good default vendor perks. I think the Future War Cult one's alright. Yeah, the Valedictorian's pretty good too. Like, its vendor perks are okay, but none of them have tracking, and tracking is almost a necessity on a rocket launcher. And let's think. Fusion rifles, plug 1 from the Vanguard Quartermaster. Get that. It's very, very good. In fact, let me go to the vendors and let's go take a look real quick. Alright, so plug 1 from the Vanguard Quartermaster is one that I highly recommend. It is in a lot of ways like the Purifier, but it's got an even better stability. In fact, if you can get the right perks on it, and I think it actually, even the vendor perks, you can get perfect stability on the thing, where it does not kick at all, and it's lovely to have. Which I do think it is this one. So yeah, with perfect mallets, yeah, this thing kills really, really quickly. It doesn't have as good of range as my Purifier, but I believe it has a slightly better charge rate, way better stability, and better reload times. Another one I highly recommend, and Up for Anything is great. That is just in case auto rifles ever get fixed. So I would pick this one up. I recommend it because it does have great perks, being rangefinder and persistence. And also you can get hammer forged as well on it, which is great. So Up for Anything is really good. Badger CCL, people don't talk about this one all that often. I love this weapon even with the default perks. With Send It or Flared Magwell, it can be very nice. Its impact is absolutely amazing. And you can, I use it in the Crucible quite a lot, and I do enjoy it. I'm not really a fan of either of the pulse rifles because they both have pretty terrible impact. Payback SOS isn't very good. Another NITC is good for PvE because of its Outlaw perk. I'm not a fan of Harm's Way, not a fan of One Way Ticket. The Cluster Bombs is nice, but only for PvE. LDR is great. The vendor one isn't so good, though, so I would, if you get one from a package or something, that's really going to be the best thing you got. I mean, all of these perks right here suck. This one's okay. This one can be useful, but really it's better to just have one with a Field Scout or something like that. The Secret Handshake is good-ish. It does have Hammer Forge, which increases its range, and it has the Almighty Shot package. Grenadier, which can be nice as well. And also you can get Accurized Ballistics, which increases its range even further, as well as its impact at the cost of stability. Or you can get even more impact with Aggressive Ballistics. I mean, this actually might be better because of Hammer Forged. So Aggressive Ballistics might be the best. Yeah, so Secret Handshake is pretty good. Going on to the Dead Orbit vendor, I think there's one gun I would say that he is worth getting from, and arguably two. Unwilling Soul is terrible. Don't even bother with it. It is the worst high rate of fire or auto rifle. It's basically a machine gun. That's what it is. It's an auto rifle with a high rate of fire, and it sucks. It's terrible, especially the way auto rifles are now. Crypt Dweller is okay. It's literally just another NITC. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have another NITC because of the higher magazine size. Hide and Seek is okay. This is a good PvE shotgun. It also gets Hammer Forged, which gives it a beastly range, but because of crowd control and Cascade, this is really a PvE-oriented shotgun. And honestly, I think it's better than Two to the Morgue for that very reason. And it almost tempts me to get it, but I want to save my marks. Deviant Gravity is the one that I would highly recommend above all else. All these armor pieces I could say go for, especially since you will be able to ascend them to the max light, and since they all look freaking cool. But yeah, Deviant Gravity is definitely the one you'll want to go for the most. On to the Future War Cult vendor. Future War Cult is by far my least favorite faction. I have never really found any of their weapons to be all that useful. I do only have one. As far as the ones they sell, the Chance is not very good. It has a small magazine. Its impact's okay, but everything else about it just makes it not that great. The Calling is decent. The one I got from my package, my Future War Cult package, I like even better, though. The Crash, not very good. I got one with full auto a while back. I still don't like it. It does have, now this is one thing that you can take note of, is luck in the chamber. On a shotgun, that can be nasty. Not to mention, like, okay, so its perks are good. Feeding Frenzy, also very nice. Kills with this weapon increase reload speed for a short time. Also, Field Scout, you can get an even higher magazine. That's nice. In fact, this is probably the weapon I would recommend the most out of all of them. On top of that, I mean, there's perfect balance, but I would say go for Field Scout. Luck in the Chamber could be nasty. Nasty. If you do get that lucky shot in PvP, oh, they're gone. In PvE, it could be even more useful. Like, you could probably insta-kill a Major if you got a headshot on them with this. I mean, that could probably be the best thing about it, but its stats kind of suck. So that's the one problem with it. Its impact is okay. Its rate of fire is okay. Its range is decent. Its stability and reload times are terrible, though. But luckily, it does have one perk to make up for it. But I think this is the only viable one. The Culling is awful. Look at that. What is this perk doing on a machine gun with a magazine of 74? A kill with the final round in the magazine increases reload speed? It'd have to be the last bullet. That is terrible, especially with such a low impact, a low damaging machine gun. The Culling is awful. I had one once. I didn't keep it for very long. Let's just say that. Let's go move on to the Crucible Quartermaster, and then on to the New Monarchy vendor, and that will probably be it for the video. The Crash is actually almost looking kind of appealing because it looks like I don't have either shotgun from Dead Orbit or Future War Cult, but that is because I like my Two to the Morgue a lot. So let's go on to the Crucible Quartermaster. So, Do-Gooder 5 has good perks. Third Eye and Persistence are pretty nice. This is a good alternative for Up for Anything. For the people, not very good. 1, 2, 3, Syzygy or whatever? It's not that great. Three Little Words is arguably the best legendary pulse rifle in the game. You know what? No, it is the best legendary pulse rifle in the game. Its impact is amazing. Its range is great. Its rate of fire is pretty darn good. Headseeker is good. Third Eye is invaluable. I mean, you can do without it, but if you're not very good at paying attention to your radar while aiming down the, and you know you need it for ADS, it's gonna save you in so many situations. Three Little Words, I would say out of all of these weapons, I'd say out of the primary, it's by far the most I'd recommend it the most out of the primary. Saturn Rapier is a close second because there you go, those vendor perks. It's exactly the one that I have. This is your PvE baby, I would say, but for PvP, I would not recommend a single gun out of all of these above 3 little words. It is the best. In fact, out of every vendor weapon, I would say this is the best PvP weapon. Saturn Rapier, awesome for PvE. Beeline Trauma is decent. It's pretty good in all aspects, although I'd still take the Saturn Rapier over it. The only thing that the Beeline Trauma has really going for it is its rate of fire. The Fall Will Probably Kill You, 1969, is okay. It's a pretty decent hand cannon. It's got nice impact, but aside from that, I would say pass on that. Trolley Problem has amazing impact and amazing range. Its charge rate and stability leave a lot to be desired, though, and honestly, as great as this one is, I would say the plug one is even better. Two to the Morgue is awesome. This one also has Luck in the Chamber from the vendor, and on top of that, it has Hammer Forged, which can make this thing pretty nasty in PvP. I would stick with Smooth Ballistics, as you're either getting a penalty to your range or a penalty to your impact here, neither of which you want. So stick with Smooth Ballistics. Luck in the Chamber can be awesome. Crowd Control. This is actually still more of a PvE thing, but for PvP, it can be useful in certain situations. Hammer Forged, great. I mean, this one is it's a great shotgun. It's good in both PvE and PvP. So if you need just one shotgun to help you in both, I think this is probably going to be your best bet of all your vendor options. Probably even over the Crash. The Crash is probably more PvE oriented. Longbow Synthesis, it's got good impact. Mulligan is a terrible perk, though. I know they're working to increase its effectiveness, but it's a terrible perk as it stands right now. I think Field Scout only raises your magazine by 1, so not the most useful. And Spray and Play, that can be very useful. This is a pretty decent PvP weapon, although I'd still say the LDR outclasses it. Against All Odds, I've already shown you guys how amazing this one is, and the current one comes with Field Scout. It's the one I've got. I would say go for it while it's still available. Valedictorian has Proximity Detonation, a magazine of 2. Clown Cartridge, which can sometimes give you a magazine of 3. Awesome blast radius, it just has terrible velocity. As such, I think it's almost better for PvE, but if you need one, but in PvP it can be useful. And that is it for those. I would still say the Crucible weapons, Crucible Quartermaster weapons, are better than the Vanguard Master weapons as a whole. But take note of those. And now let's go look at New Monarchy. And New Monarchy, it's the vendor weapons. New Monarchy used to have awesome vendor weapons, but now with all the nerfs and that have come along and stuff like that, I don't really know if any of these are any good. We'll take a look though.
Let's see if we can help each other out.
Okay, so it does have Judgment, but it doesn't have one with Shot Package. All right, and none of these are very good. It does have Return to Sender, which is okay, and Spray and Play, which is okay, but none of these perks are really going to do you any favors. Honestly, I'd pass on this version of Judgment. Vanquisher used to be an amazing auto rifle for PvP, but with all the nerfs that have hit it, pretty much any auto rifle is useless in PvP. But as far as auto rifles go, I'd say this is the best one to pick up from the vendors. And if just with the hope that they do something about the auto rifles in the near future, I would say pick this one up. Crusader is not very good. It has Mulligan, which again sucks. Ascendant, which is unnecessary, and then neither of the others are good. Rodeo, it really, I mean, I guess that's okay. Neither of these are you're going to want, though, if you want to work with Rodeo, so not very good. And then Prestige is basically a slightly better version of the Culling. Hammer Forged is nice. Its rate of fire is too high, though. This is more of a PvE. I mean, I guess this could be basically just used for shooting at groups of Thrall.
Don't forget
Pretty much anything can be used well for shooting at groups of Thrall. So that doesn't really say much. Yeah, New Monarchy at the moment leaves a lot to be desired, and honestly, you're better off just going for their packages on the off chance you get the Admonisher, which is their rocket launcher, or Red Hand 9, which is the hand cannon that I showed you earlier. So, taking a look at all of those weapons, I would say there's 3 shotguns that are 4 shotguns that are all kind of worth going for at the moment. There's auto rifles I guess you can grab in the hopes that they do something about improving them in the future. There's a good machine gun, or 2 good machine guns you can go after. Not really any rocket launchers worth going after. Valedictorian's probably the best of all of them, but still really not that great. I mean, not near even the same spectrum as the Truth and Gjallarhorn. So if you have either one of those, don't even bother. I mean, I guess if you need to free up a slot, but honestly, if you're switching over to a rocket launcher and you plan on using one, especially in PvE, you're probably not going to go with a legendary. And then scout rifles, there's the Saturn Rapier for PvE, Badger CCL, which is pretty good for PvP, hand cannons, none of the vendor ones are really worth it.
Message for Zerg.
I'm trying to think of all of them. Pulse rifles, 3 little words, is amazing for PvP, and it's also very good for PvE as well. Although using pulse rifles in PvE just for some reason still doesn't make any sense to me. And then fusion rifles, there's Plug 1, and sniper rifles, there's the LDR, there's the longbow synthesis, which I'd still say pick the LDR over that. And that's really it. That is really it. So, what you can do is you can go for the weapons that you want. That are going to be useful, because most of these are going to be gone come House of Wolves. Some of the faction weapons won't disappear, such as the Judgment, and I believe the Dead Orbit auto rifle's staying, sadly. But most of them are going to be going away with House of Wolves. So you're going to want to grab those. Go grab your armor so you can look pretty and stuff and make that all nice and fancy looking, so your Guardian can look different from everybody else's Guardians and all that good stuff. So House of Wolves is coming, and it's going to be awesome. I'm excited, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Skriller King. I hope you enjoyed this video very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.